Well, I heard a lot of things.
This is Milwaukee Police Department Chief Edward Flynn. He was first appointed in 2008 and is now in his third four-year term as Chief of Police. He has served the city of Milwaukee for 9 years. His contract renewal in 2011 was the first time a Milwaukee police chief had been reappointed since 1863, or for those unwilling to do the math, in the ballpark of 150 years. Again, Edward Flynn was the first Milwaukee police chief to be reappointed in nearly 150 years. His third term reappointment in 2015 was unanimous. In 2014, the Milwaukee Police Department came under attack from racist black protesters for the shooting of a man named Dontre Hamilton. The officer was attempting to search Hamilton when the latter seized the officer's baton and began violently assaulting him. In response, the officer fatally shot Hamilton in self-defense.
To shout down anybody that disagreed with them. Despite my ongoing disagreements with the police union, I have to say that their members tonight conducted themselves, I thought, with great restraint, given the ad hominem invective that was being unleashed on their work personally and the police department generally. So, this is a controversy. This is a tragedy. I've said it over and over again. It's a tragedy for the family, a tragedy for Officer Manning. It's a tragedy for the community. But I'm not blind to the fact that there's a lot of people lining up to take advantage of this tragedy to flog their own agendas, and that was clear tonight as well.
In the same manner as Ferguson, Missouri, racist black protesters accused white officers of racism and complained of police disruption and anti-black behavior by disrupting a police commission meeting related to the Hamilton self-defense shooting and demonstrating anti-police behavior. In particular, these racist black protesters singled out Milwaukee Police Chief Edward Flynn with accusations he was uncaring, citing the fact that Flynn had been on his cell phone during a portion of the meeting.
What's your response to some of the people that thought you were being disrespectful by being on your phone and not being attentive to them?
Well, I was on my phone.
There's just one problem. Chief Flynn, first Milwaukee police chief in 150 years to be reappointed, was being informed by phone that a 5-year-old black girl had just been shot in the head and killed in a drive-by shooting by a black gang.
Yes, that's true. I was following developments with a 5-year-old little girl sitting on her dad's lap who just got shot in the head by a drive-by shooting. And if some of the people here gave a good goddamn about the victimization of people in this community by crime, I take some of their invective more seriously.
It turns out some of Chief Flynn's frustrations with the horrific conditions he has to deal with are rooted strongly in factual, provable data. First, Milwaukee, Wisconsin is statistically as safe as 3% of American cities. Another way to say this is that Milwaukee, Wisconsin is more dangerous than 97% of American cities. The violent crime rate is more than 4 times the national average. Your chances of being the victim of a violent crime are only 1 in 62, as in 1 in roughly 60 people in Milwaukee, Wisconsin will be murdered, raped, robbed, or assaulted. Looking at those crimes individually compared to national averages, you are 5 times more likely to be murdered, twice as likely to be raped, 6 times as likely to be robbed, and 4 times as likely to be assaulted. Property crime in Milwaukee is twice the national average, with your odds of being a victim at a shocking 1 in 23. And last but not least, the number of crimes per square mile at over 10 times the national average is just under the entire population density of the state of Florida and more dense than the entire populations of states like Pennsylvania, Ohio, and California. If Milwaukee's crimes per square mile were instead people per square mile, it would be the 8th most densely populated state in the country. Chief Flynn, who at the outset of this interview was polite, respectful, and understanding despite coming directly from being harassed by racist, agenda-pushing black protesters.
What's your response to some of the people that thought you were being disrespectful by being on your phone and not being attentive to them?
Has some statistics of his own worth considering.
The greatest racial disparity in the city of Milwaukee is getting shot and killed. Hello. 80% of my homicide victims every year are African American. 80% of our aggravated assault victims are African American. 80% of our shooting victims who survived their shooting are African American. Now, they know all about the last 3 people that have been killed by the Milwaukee Police Department over the course of the last several years. There's not one of them can name one of the last 3 homicide victims we've had in this city. Now, there's room for everybody to participate in fixing this police department, and I'm not pretending we're without sin. But this community's at risk, all right. And it's not because men and women in blue risk their lives protecting it. It's at risk because we have large numbers of high-capacity, quality firearms in the hands of remorseless criminals who don't care who they shoot. Now, I'm leaving here to go to that scene. And I take it personally, okay? We're going up there, and there's a bunch of cops processing a scene of a dead kid. And they're the ones that are going to be out there patrolling and stopping suspects that may have guns under the front seat. They're the ones that are going to take the risks of their lives to try to clean this thing up. All right? We're responsible for the things we get wrong, and we take action. We've arrested cops, we've fired cops, and so on. But the fact is that the people out here, some of them, who had the most to say, are absolutely MIA when it comes to the true threats facing this community, and it gets a little tiresome. And when you start getting yelled at for reading the updates of the kid that gets shot, yeah, you take it personal, okay? Now, no offense, but I'm going up there now.
Milwaukee Police Chief Edward Flynn is a sober reminder of the reality that black-on-black crime and not phantom, faceless, and racist white cops is destroying American cities, and that it is the police, not the quote-unquote activists, who deal with murdered, raped, robbed, and assaulted innocent black civilians on a daily basis.